I'm Heather from Booktubes, and today is an author's most popular book versus my favorite of their books. So I had some criteria for this. It has to be an author with a prolific backlist. So there are lots of options to choose from. It's not just, they have a 3-book series and that's all they have, and book 1 is more popular than book 3. Can't be something like that. They have to have an extensive backlist. And then also, I need to have read a lot of their backlists, the majority of their backlists even. Maybe not the majority, but like a significant amount, so that I have a realistic understanding of their writing style, and preferably will have read their most popular and my favorite. But that's not true for every single one of these, and I wanted ones that people knew. So I had a few different criteria, and I had a lot of fun looking on Goodreads at the stats for this and like seeing where things ranked and stuff. I was surprised by some of them, and some of them I wasn't at all. So starting off right away with Ilona Andrews, their most popular book is Kate Daniels' the first book, Magic Bites, has 122,905 ratings, and the first 6 books in the Kate Daniels series are their most popular books. Then 7th is my favorite, which is Burn For Me, which has 58,562 ratings, which is fully half of Kate Daniels, which I thought was kind of shocking, honestly, that many only read Kate Daniels and not Burn For Me. So they both are similar setups, similar worlds, but slightly different. So both worlds are our world changed by magic. And in Kate Daniels, this happens with magic waves. So the magic went away for a few thousand years, and that's when we built up technology, and now it's counter-correcting itself. So back in like Bible times or Babylonian times, or the Garden of Eden, that type of thing, magic ruled the world, and it reached its crest, and then the world corrected itself back to like zero magic. Technology sprang up for a few thousand years, and now it's course corrected, but we have waves of both. So we have the magic waves, and during those times technology doesn't work, and also the land is like warped and things are changed and shifted and you can't really do anything about it. And then you also have, when the magic is gone, most people have some magic in them, so they would still have some magic but not as strong, but a lot of things won't work, and then technology works. So your guns, your telephones, things like that are working not during the magic waves. And Kate Daniels is a mercenary. I know I've said this a million times, doesn't freaking matter. She is a mercenary who is trying to fly under the radar, and she has a romance with the king of the shifters. And it's great. It's a 10-book series following the one main couple, and their relationship progression throughout the series is phenomenal. It's not insta-love, it's not super slow burn. You have most of the series with them established together and working together as a couple and as a family unit, and it's just some of the best world building I think that you can find. Burn For Me, rather than having magic waves, was altered because in the 60s there was a serum and you got magic from some people and you got death. So you got shot up with the serum and you either got outlandishly powerful magic or you died. So, fun little Russian roulette game. But since that time, the magic users, they really have intermarried for power and for magic breeding. So, if you are a powerful magic user of this type of magic, you probably wouldn't marry someone who is not at least connected to that, because ideally you want your children to also have as much power as you. And if you don't, their magical ability dies out within a few generations, and then you're not the magical elite anymore. So that really factors in to these magical elites' lives, right? And we follow a private investigator, and she's being put on an impossible case from a magic house, and she doesn't really have any choice because she needs to protect her family. And in the course of that, she's going to run into a very powerful magic user who's also super rich and a little unhinged, and they're going to, work together to save everything. Ilona Andrews has such great found families. Like, if you like found family and you have not read Ilona Andrews, you're missing the best of the best. The best of the best. As much as I love Kate Daniels, listen, it's all 5 stars. Don't talk to me. It's all 5 stars. I do kind of love Burn For Me the most because it's 3 books about one couple and then you have 3 books about her sister. I don't know. It's heavy on the romance. It's binga banga booma. It's just, I don't know. It's just my favorite. Then for Kristen Ashley, this surprised me. I would not have guessed this. Her most popular book is Mystery Man, and it has 71,530 ratings. It's interesting because it's, I don't know, I feel like it's almost a weird place in her discography. It's kind of a weird place, but I'm not sure. Maybe it was published first. I don't know. I always think of it as like a spin-off of Rock Chick, but it has a lot more ratings than Rock Chick, so I'm confused. And then my favorite, everybody knows, is the Hookup, which is 21,124 ratings and is her 23rd most popular book. What is wrong with you people? Her 23rd most popular book. That is wild. Clearly, I'm not preaching the gospel of the Hookup enough. So Mystery Man is such a weird book. It's such a weird book. So he's like a private investigator commando type person and he just like visits her in the night, sleeps with her, and then shows up again another night. Mind you, he just like shows up in her home. Like she doesn't even get up and unlock the door. Like he unlocks it. And that's their thing. It's so weird. When I started this book, I legitimately was like, is he a vampire? This book continues to baffle me. I've read it a couple times. It's really good, but it baffles me. Baffles. And then the Hookup is a contemporary romance where they have a one-night stand and then that is what starts their relationship. I would pick the Hookup over Mystery Man any day. Any day. Even though I really love both. Like I've read both multiple times and given them 5 stars. Wild. Wild. Then I have Christina C Jones, and her most popular book is I Think I Might Love You with 3,878 ratings. The fact that her most popular book is under 4,000 ratings is a crime. A crime. I don't know if some of it is that she writes black romance and it's just not as popular with the masses, or if some of it is that she has so many books. So many of my friends and I, have read multiple of her books, like a bunch. And each one of us is only partially overlapped with each other. We've all read books that the other ones haven't read because she has so many books that you can start with, and ones that stand on their own or are interconnected, but you can start here or you can start there. There's just so much. She has like a ton, like over 80, I think. So I don't know if that's partially why, but it's just wild to me that that is the most ratings that her most popular book has. That's crazy. And then my favorite is another novella, which is Maybe Next Time, and it has 2,300 ratings and is her 3rd highest in the backlist, 3rd most popular. Again, just so that means like 70 something of her books are under 2,300 ratings. A crime. A crime. Where are you people? You need to get on it. So these are both novellas and they are both some of my very favorites of hers. I Think I Might Love You is a rom-com and Maybe Next Time is a little bit darker, a little bit steamier, and they're just both fantastic and I don't understand. Next is Jessica Godella, and her most popular book is Rain, which is Navasink Bank Henchman Motorcycle Club #1, and it has 8,982 ratings. And by far my favorite series, but we'll start with the first book, is her Professionals series. And the first book is The Fixer, and that has 4,110 ratings. That is half half of her most popular, and it's her 8th most popular book. Most of her most popular are in her Motorcycle Club series. So both of these series take place in the same town, Navesink Bank. Obviously, Rain is the local motorcycle club, and then the Fixer is a fixer agency, and the head of the agency in this first one falls in love with a client, which has never happened before. But we follow all the different people in the agency, and they're just my favorites. They're so cute and sweet, while also both being romantic suspense. Then I have Katy Wells. Her most popular book is Tyrant Alpha's Rejected Mate, which has 14,205 ratings. And I read this as soon as it released, and I'm really happy that it has done so well for her. It's so good. And then my favorites, the one that got me into her, it remains my favorite, is Run Posey Run with 7,957 ratings, and this is 4th in her most popular. Her paranormal has fully double this mafia one. So Tyrant Alpha's Rejected Mate, you have a wolf pack, he's the alpha, she's its fated mate, he rejects her, and then is gonna live to regret it. And Run Posey Run, you have a mafia money man and his longtime living girlfriend. Revenge porn happens and he thinks that she's cheating on him, so he throws her out and then regrets it and hunts her back down. He's also a psychopath. So good. Her writing just, oh man, she can write anything and I'll read it. It doesn't freaking matter. But yeah, the Tyrant Alpha's being double Run Posey Run, I don't understand. I mean, they're both great. 5 stars, absolutely. But doubly popular? Wow. Then I have Alexandria House, and her most popular book is Let Me Love You, which has 6,030 ratings, which is one of my favorites of hers, to be fair. But my favorite is Technical, which has 1,249 ratings and is 24th in her most popular. 24th. 24th. The books beating this, I just can't even. Like, some of them I really didn't like. Some of them I really didn't like. I'm just like, how are you beating Technical? I don't understand. Alright, so Let Me Love You is the first in her McLean Brothers series, is a rapper and a single mom, and he's gonna be obsessed with her. And then Technical is a basketball player, and she shows up at his door pregnant, has the baby, and he falls in love with her and her baby. It's very insta-love, he like takes care of her a lot. I will say for Technical is a 3-book series of this basketball team, and I hate the 1st and 3rd book. They are both like really traumatic. And then this middle book is super cozy and it doesn't make any sense. So just read this one. Next I have Claire Kent, and her most popular book is Escorted, which has 12,877 ratings, and I have not read this one. In fact, I put it on my TBR specifically because I did this video and was like, well, I gotta read it. I gotta read it sooner rather than later because I always planned on reading all of her books, but I have put it on my TBR specifically because I was like, well, if it's her most popular, needs must. And then my favorite is Hold, which has 9,909 ratings and is her 2nd most popular. And this is a prison planet sci-fi kind of captive protection for sex, Turkish romance. It's so good. Don't even speak to me. Don't criticize. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I guess I can accept that it's her 2nd most popular, and Escorted was her 1st book published under this pen name, so I understand. And I haven't read Escorted. Maybe it will become my favorite, but I highly doubt it because Escorted is a virgin romance author hires a male escort and then falls in love with him, and Hold is like a trope that I've long wanted done well, and this is my favorite version of it I've ever found. And I have not had that for the trope of Escorted. Like, it's not a thing I've wanted and searched for, so I just don't see it unseating Hold at all. But I'm sure it'll be great. I have no qualms about that. Then I have T. Kingfisher, and her most popular book is Nettle and Bone, which has 49,358 ratings and is a dark fairy tale. And then my most favoritist Tea Kingfisher is Paladin's Grace, which has 14,388 ratings and is 7th in her most popular, and is her top fantasy romance though, and her fantasy romances are my favorite. So Nettle and Bone has like a little thread of romance in it, but Paladin's Grace is actually fantasy romance. You have dual POV, you're focused on these two, they are intertwined in their story, you have a sex scene, you have a slow burn romance. It's just greatness. Paladin's Grace is a paladin is a religious knight basically, and his god died and they went mad, and he's one of the few survivors. And she is a seamstress, a apothecary, maybe apothecary, but she's a shopkeeper, and they have a really funny meet cute. Yeah, I mean, Paladin's Grace blows Nettle and Bone out of the water. I'm sorry. Nettle and Bone I DNF'd and then picked back up and gave it 4 stars. And Paladin's Grace I inhaled. It was one of my favorite books of the year last year. Favorites. One of my favorite fantasy romances ever. It's wildly underrated. You all should read it. Then I have Katy Robert, and their most popular book is Neon Gods, which has 198,903 ratings. And my favorite is Court of the Vampire Queen. I switched it to the bind up. Originally it was Sacrifice, but after all 3 were published, she published it as Court of the Vampire Queen. And that has 38,833 ratings, is their 5th most popular, and the first 3 most popular of theirs are the Dark Olympus series. So this is second under, what is the Jafar Aladdin Jasmine retelling? I can picture the cover in my mind. I don't think I'm even close to remembering what it's called. But under Dark Olympus, that's the next popular one. And I do love that one, to be fair. But Court of the Vampire Queen is my very favorite. So Neon Gods is Greek gods, contemporary retelling. I liked it okay. And then Court of the Vampire Queen is a half vampire wide shoes romance. And it's really good. I can see the critiques and I don't care. I love it. Then lastly, I have Ella Montgomery, whose most popular book, of course, is Anne of Green Gables, with 940,972 ratings. And my favorite book of all time, that for nostalgia reasons I don't think will get unseated, is The Blue Castle with 41,685 ratings. This is the 11th most popular of her books. The first 9 of the top 10 are Anne of Green Gables books. It is a 8-book series, and then like 9 is the bind-up of the whole series. So there are 9 top spots are Anne of Green Gables. Anne of Green Gables is a orphan who goes to live on a farm with a elderly brother and sister, and it follows her from a child to her youngest child reaching adulthood is the final book. And then The Blue Castle is a 28-year-old who decides that when she finds out she has heart problems and is not going to continue to live, that she wants to live before she dies, so she stops doing everything that her family wants and does what she wants and falls in love with a rascal. A rapscallion, if you will. And I just love it. I've always loved it. I've always loved watching her go from someone who had to follow all of the rules to someone who did what she felt was right. And this was written 100 years ago. And I just love it and respect it. And I love seeing someone who was older. At the time that I read this, I was like 11. 28 seemed forever away. Now I'm 32. It's long behind me. But it was the oldest main character I had ever read at the time. Obviously, it was mostly reading children's books. And I have just never, ever stopped loving it. I love the humor and just truly watching somebody get agency. It hits for me in just such a good way. I love it. So that's it. Those are the author's most popular book versus my favorite. Let me know if you have read any of these authors, or if there is an author that like you love and your specific like holy grail book of theirs is just so underrated even by their own fans, and you like it so much more than their most popular one. Definitely let me know that. But let me know if you have read any of like both of my comparisons and you're like, Heather, what are you thinking? Or you agree. I don't know. Just leave me comments. I want to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.